Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another episode of our Leeds United Career Mode series. We'll kick off a first game here, really, what is quite a big first game against Arsenal at the Emirates. Guys, if you have been enjoying the Career Mode, do leave a like on the video. We're actually closing in on Season 2, which is crazy to think about. And Season 3, I'm sure, is going to be bigger and better. But going into the last couple episodes of the season, we're looking like potential Champions League contenders here, guys. And I know that's a little bit strange to hear, and honestly, it is a little bit unrealistic. And I do agree with a lot of the comments in the comment section below. It seems like every video there are more and more comments talking about the unrealistic side of this career mode, guys. And I really cannot agree with you guys anymore. I really don't like that it is this easy, but when it comes down to it, I'm not going to throw games. If I can beat the opposition, I will beat the opposition. And unfortunately, Legendary difficulty is just not that hard. But there are moments, and if you guys watch Season 1, watch us when we're in the Championship, you will have noticed that there are moments where we do go on bad runs. We can be inconsistent. And sometimes I just cannot score against the team. So, I don't know. I feel like the bigger teams are a little bit easier to play against, and that's why we've been picking up some really big wins. But also, I feel like we've been getting some real late goals in some games that have gotten us some big points, and we've been grinding out and then getting a late goal and getting some points that way as well. So I don't know, guys. It's difficult to say. It's too bad there's not a difficulty harder than Legendary. Like Ultimate there is online, but you can't play Ultimate in Career Mode. There's no Ultimate difficulty in Career Mode as far as I'm aware. I've checked. Maybe I don't have it unlocked or something like that, but I'm pretty sure it's just not a thing in Career Mode. You cannot play Ultimate difficulty in Career Mode, as far as I'm aware. But as you can see, speaking of late goals, and speaking of grinding out and picking up a late goal, at the Emirates here, Danny Ings does pick up a late goal, and he continues in some fine form. His injury has not stopped him at all, and I was kind of scared that he would come back maybe and not perform the way he did, and maybe we have just lost our mojo with him a little bit, but he is still Danny Ings. He's still banging in goals, and good to see him on the score sheet as he gets a man of the match here. As we pick up a 2-1 win away at Arsenal. So again, the hard teams are sort of easy to beat, but if you take a look at real life in the Premier League, there's some big teams getting thrown, I guess, by the smaller teams. Obviously, most recently, Huddersfield beating Manchester United, and even Manchester City in the Carabao Cup drew against Wolverhampton. So there you go, some small teams picking up results against big teams. I know it's not exactly the same, but yeah, I don't know. That's the best way I can sort of explain it, guys. But Liverpool definitely do not mess around. And they start fantastically in this game as we host Liverpool. Roberto Firmino with a fantastic shot. I mean, that is just fantastic. Top corner, well, not really that top corner, but the power behind it, absolute bullet, and Vidvald gets beat. So many hashtag Vidvalds I've been seeing, and people just don't seem to like him. So, yeah, Vidvald out. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but I have seen a lot of comments with that. And a lot of people telling me to move on. And look, Ramsdale is now at a 75 overall. He's grown quite a lot this season. He's only a few overall less than Vidvald, so maybe next season we will consider letting him go and having Ramsdale and our youth goalkeeper, of course, Jackson as well, sharing the goalkeeper load. That's probably what we'll do in the next season. But for now, if Vidvald's getting beaten at his near post, that's 2 now in this game against Liverpool as they go 2-0 up. And as you can see, a bit of a shift potentially in our form here against Liverpool. Also, I think in this game, Kemar Roof made his return from injury. I believe he started on the bench in this game. I wasn't paying attention when the lineup was up, and I'm sure you guys weren't either, but I'm pretty sure Kemar Roof was on the bench. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is in this episode that he does return from injury, which is good to see, because once Kemar Roof is back, we know that Pontus Jansson is right behind him, so we will have Pontus Jansson for the last 5 or 6 games of the season, which could possibly make a difference, actually. Going into the last minutes of this game, in the 90th minute here against Liverpool, really, really disappointing. Kelly, our youth player on the right-hand side, unfortunately not able to finish what would have been an equalizing goal in the 90th minute. So, very, very unfortunate stuff. And unfortunately, it is a 2-1 loss to Liverpool. So there we go, a loss, finally. But it was a very hard-fought win from Liverpool. They did very, very well away from home to pick up the win. And it was really well-deserved. So credit to Liverpool. They did pick up a win, and now we travel to Sheffield Wednesday. Look, fun fact about Sheffield Wednesday, if you've not been keeping up with the career mode, this is now the team that we have played the most in this series. This is our 5th game against Sheffield Wednesday within the span of 2 seasons, because obviously we played the 2 league games with them in the Championship, and now the 2 league games in the Premier League, and also we had a Carabao Cup against them, a game against them, I should say, in the Caribou Cup at the start of the season. So this is the 5th time we're facing Sheffield Wednesday, which is just absolutely crazy. And yeah, they've been with us for a very long time, and honestly, they've been able to pick up results against us. They go 1-0 up, we bring one back through Sais, but Sheffield Wednesday don't have a bad record against us at all. So definitely going into a game like this against Sheffield Wednesday, I don't see it as a guaranteed win. Even though we are so high up the table, I don't see it as a guaranteed win. So to get that goal back was a pretty big sigh of relief there, because Sheffield Wednesday definitely did start well. Vieira with a fantastic long shot, Westwood with a amazing save, just tipping it wide of the goal. It was a really great save from him. And Sheffield Wednesday putting the pressure in the last couple of minutes here. Vidvald forces the corner, but off the corner, a bit of a mess up on the defensive end, and Sheffield Wednesday pick up a real late goal. I believe it's Townsend and Jorge sort of just diving at nothing, really, at air. And it just falls to Winnall, or whatever his name is, from Sheffield Wednesday, and he picks up the goal, and they go 2-1 up. At home, they pick up the win, and that's back-to-back losses, and I cannot remember the last time we had back-to-back losses, but really wasn't expecting it. The lineup wasn't weak or anything like that. It was a really good lineup, and we just could not get the job done there against Sheffield Wednesday. So really interesting as we head into this game against Stoke City. You'll notice with Pontus Jansson starting at the centre-back position, I did say that when Kmar Roof came back, Pontus Jansson would also be right around the corner, and I didn't want to give it away that it was in this episode, but both are back. Kmar Roof and Pontus Jansson, 2 big players for us, are back, and I said when they both went out that I hope they returned before the season ended, because I want them to sort of get back into the groove of things before the season ends, and especially Pontus Jansson. I didn't want him to come back after the season ended and he literally could not play a game until the start of the next season. I wanted to get him involved once again because the centre-back combinations that we've been making have been pretty good. I think Shaughnessy's played well when he's needed to, but I think Jorge and Cooper as a 2 have been so good. So to bring Pontus Jansson back into this and maybe even improve our defense more is pretty interesting to see how that'll work out, because it could have the opposite effect. But starting here against Stoke City, we do start fantastically well. Vieira there adding the second goal to our early goal, and we go 2-0 up away to Stoke City, which is a difficult team to play, but they don't leave it 2-0 for very long. Felipe Anderson makes it 2-1. Stoke City try and get back into this game. A perfect time to score for Stoke City to make their case and to get a little bit more into the game right before half-time. And it was just a little bit of a lapse in the defense. And Vidvald not in the sticks for this game. It is actually Ramsdale, I believe, so an opportunity for him. But as Felipe Anderson, once again, great bit of footwork. Just sort of working it inside the box there. Just small little touches there just to sort of get it around. And once again, just a little lapse of defense. And unfortunately, that time it makes it 2-2. And Stoke City are right back in this game. So what a calamitous few minutes there at the end of the first half and start of the second half. But Kelly, redeeming himself for that Liverpool miss, does not miss that. What a well-placed shot. What a cool head that Kelly had. And that's just... didn't have to put that much power on it, just guiding it to the back of the net. That's very, very mature from Kelly, who's obviously come through the youth ranks. He's already a fantastic rating. He's already 70-something rated, guys. He's already really, really good. So, very excited to use him. And if he's going to be pulling winners like that, then, hey, I'm not going to complain if he's playing. And he gets a 9.2 rating, but as you can tell, it was nowhere near the best because we had so many players above the 9 rating. Going into this game as we host Tottenham, another huge test, but we're coming off a really big win. Again, one of those wins where we held out after going 2-2 and just sort of held out until we got that late goal and picked up 3 massive points. And speaking of 3 massive points, they're up for grabs here against Tottenham. Sorry, no, we're not hosting Tottenham. We're at Tottenham. And yeah, 3 points up for grab, and it's Townsend, the former Tottenham player, with a fantastic finish. I mean, that is world-class finish. Look how top corner that is. I don't even know how else to describe that. That is so top corner. It's incredible. There was no more room in the top corner for that ball to go. And Townsend getting involved for the second goal, a lovely, a sublime cross. I don't even know how to express Townsend's game that he had here against Tottenham. But that cross is perfection. Straight to Danny Ings' foot. All he has to do is get a solid connection, which he does. And we're 2-0 up against Tottenham. And again, we're in some good form, and we did have a little bit of a rough moment there with back-to-back losses, but now 2-0 up against Tottenham. It doesn't stay 2-0 for too long. Christian Eriksen and Spurs working a really good goal on the hour mark to make it 2-1, and also just bringing a little bit of life into Tottenham because they were a little dead up to this point. They weren't really playing football at all, and this was caught me a little bit off guard because that's how bad Spurs were in this game, but that really sort of injected Spurs with a little bit of something. We try and make it 3-1 right from kickoff. Unfortunately, Saiss couldn't work his magic, but speaking of magic, Dele Alli decides to bring a little bit of magic. My word, that is a goal. That is a goal. That is Dele Alli right there. He would do that in real life. What a goal. What a goal that is from Dele Alli. And unfortunately, there was absolutely no chance of Vidvald. I mean, yes, people want him out. I understand that. But even though he gets close, I felt that there was never a chance that Vidvald was actually saving that. And now Tottenham with a bit of a spring in their step with 10 minutes to go. It's Harry Kane. Clinical as you like. I think it might have been his only shot of the game. And that is just a beautiful finish from a striker. That is what you want from your striker. And Spurs bring this back from 2-0 down to 3-2 up with like 9 or 10 minutes to go. And we just sort of crumbled, really. We crumbled, we allowed Spurs to get back in the game, and they pick up a massive 3 points at Wembley. We unfortunately lose all 3 points here at Wembley. Townsend was the man of the match because he had just an incredible game. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Going back to Elland Road, where we do host West Ham, so we're playing all the London teams, it seems, in this in this episode, barring Chelsea and Palace. Okay, fine, it's not that many London teams, but 3 London teams, it's quite a lot, but we do go up 1-0 against West Ham, and if we're going by West Ham's form right now, this makes complete sense. West Ham would not beat Leeds United in real life right now. That's how bad they are. But take a look at who's scoring the goal to open up our scoring here against West Ham. It's Kemar Roof. I think his first start since coming back from the injury. I think he was on the bench this whole time. But I think this is his first start, and he definitely made it worth his while. He had a fantastic performance, I believed. And West Ham United did really nothing. And hey, neither did we, but we scored with our one shot on target, and they didn't. And it was Kemar Roof with a really good comeback game, I think, in terms of a starting role. So really happy to see him coming back. And also Pontus Jansson, who does feature again in this game. I was sort of bringing him back, sort of managing it game by game. I didn't want to bring him back and then just completely forget about Cooper. Because look, as much as I tried shifting Cooper out of the team, I was very impressed with how he stepped up when Pontus Jansson was injured. He performed so well. I mean, yes, Jorge stepped up as well. We can't take anything away from him, but Cooper just stepped up as the leader. He became the captain once again. He's the stand-in captain, and he led this team. And as you can see, no Cooper in this game, and Everton go up 1-0 on the brink of half-time with a pretty unlucky rebound goal, but you got to be in the right place at the right time to score. And Sandro Ramirez was in the right place at the right time to get that rebound and put Everton up 1-0, which was a little bit unfortunate because I thought we'd played well up to that point. Sigurdsson, I think he was watching that game against Tottenham and saw Townsend's goal. And he thought to himself, hang on a minute, I can do the same thing. In fact, I might do it a little bit better than what Townsend did. But it's a cracking goal from Sigurdsson, and all of a sudden, Everton, who I thought weren't really playing that well, make it 2-0 away from home against us, and we sort of have our backs against the wall. Saiss, once again, it feels like he was very close to having some goal of the season contenders in this episode, but was just a slight bit off every single time he hitting the post or the keeper was tipping it. One thing the keeper wasn't tipping was Danny Ings. He was determined to get that ball in the back of the net. What a run from Danny Ings. And even when the defense got the ball back, the tackle was right back to Danny Ings, and he made the most of it, and he made sure he didn't make a mistake, and that was the most important part. Onana actually in goal for Everton, but he could do nothing about that. At that range, Danny Ings is going to finish that every day of the week. No questions asked. Speaking of no questions asked, Marcus Rashford for Everton. This is a transfer that seems to always happen in career mode, but he gets Everton right back with a 2-goal cushion, and it is just a really nice finish. I can't take anything away from that from Marcus. Plus, I love Marcus Rashford, so I'm not going to start talking shit about Marcus Rashford. Absolutely no way. And once again, on the back foot, and we pick up a loss. Again, another loss in this video to wrap up the games. That's 4 losses out of the 7 games shown, and really, I think what has been our worst form by far in this season, at least. Maybe in this season in the Championship, we had a little bit of a rough patch like this, but In the Premier League, that was by far our worst episode, and as you can see, even with a pretty terrible episode, we're only slipped down to third with a game in hand against Manchester United. So now we're looking at this in terms of Champions League. That's how I'm looking at this. In 5th and 6th are Spurs and Arsenal. They're 5th and 6th. Spurs were, by the way, a miraculous turnaround of a season for Spurs. They were in the relegation zone halfway through. They're now 5th. But it's a 10-point gap between ourselves and them, and we have a game in hand. Now, considering that, let's say we lose that game in hand. Let's just say, worst case scenario, we lose that game in hand, and it's a 10-point gap with 5 games left. We would have to lose an incredible amount of games to miss out on Champions League football. I mean, worst case scenario, I think, is 4th for us at this point. Of course, mathematically, we could still drop to wherever, but just realistically speaking, I don't think we're going to drop out of that top 4, guys, and it is honestly mind-boggling, but I don't think we're not going to get Champions League football. Again, I think the biggest concern would be if we do continue this sort of patchy form, another 4 losses in the next 7 games or 6 games it is left for us. If another 4 losses out of those, and yes, okay, maybe we are struggling. We do have 2 big games. I believe Chelsea's one of them. I forget who the other one is, but I think we still have 2 big games coming up, so there is opportunity for us to drop points. But right now, I mean, if I was me, and I am me, I would guess that we would make the top 4. And I'm kind of interested to see how the rest of the season goes out. I can't wait to play the games, guys. In the next episode, all those games will be played and we will wrap up the season. So exciting times. The episode after that will be just a bit of a season roundup. And then after that is the award show, guys. So season 2 is coming to a close and we could be looking at Champions League football next season. As unrealistic as that is, guys, that is just the position we've been put in. And I'm not going to say no to it. Anyway, that is it for today's episode, guys. If you did like it, please do leave a like on the video. But that's it. Not going to waste any more of your guys' time. Next episode is the Season 1 finale in terms of the games. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I hope you did enjoy today's episode. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.